So here's something wild that I figured out, and this is gonna make you uncomfortable. But some of us are literally addicted to chaos, like genuinely addicted. Things start going well and your brain is like, this feels wrong. Better create a crisis. And you're like, brain, we're doing great. And your brain goes, yeah, but we're us though. Spoiler alert, this is trauma. Let me explain. Okay, so you grew up in chaos, and I'm talking unpredictable parents, unstable home environment, constant crisis mode. Your brain made some adaptations to help you survive, but the problem is those adaptations are now destroying your adult life. And the worst part, you probably don't even realize you're doing it. So today, I'm breaking down the 3 signs that you're addicted to chaos, why your brain does this, and what it's costing you, and what nobody tells you about breaking free. Now, this is part 1 of a 2-part series, so buckle up. Now, let me tell you about 3 behaviors that seem totally normal, but are actually your trauma brain screaming for chaos. First sign, you feel uncomfortable when things are going well. You know that feeling when everything's going well and you're just waiting like, okay, when's the other shoe gonna drop? All right, what's really going on here? And you realize, oh God, I'm the one holding the shoe. If it's gonna drop, I'm gonna have to be the one to drop it. You see, here's what's happening. Your nervous system was calibrated in childhood chaos. So calm doesn't feel safe. It feels dangerous. Because historically in your house, calm preceded the storm. Calm meant someone was about to explode, or something bad was brewing, or you were about to get blindsided. So now, as an adult, when things are stable, your brain interprets that as a threat. And what do? You sabotage it. You pick a fight with your partner when the relationship is going great. You quit your job right before a promotion. You create drama where there is none, because at least then you know what's coming. And the really messed up part is this. You don't even realize you're doing it. You'll have a perfectly reasonable explanation for why you blew up that relationship or quit that job. But if you look at the pattern, it's always right when things were getting stable. Second sign, you only feel productive when you're putting out fires. Now, some of you only function in crisis mode. If there's no emergency, you'll create one. I know, because I did this for years. We tend to recognize our own. You procrastinate until the deadline creates artificial urgency. You volunteer for impossible projects with insane timelines. You thrive when everyone else is panicking, and when things are calm and you actually do strategic, thoughtful work, well, you feel sluggish, unfocused, almost depressed. And here's why. Adrenaline and cortisol become your baseline. Your brain learned that high stress equals high performance. So without a crisis, you feel like you're not really working. You feel lazy, even though you're doing the same tasks. It's like your brain is a car that only runs on premium chaos fuel. You try to run it on regular stability fuel and it's like, nope, engine won't start. You need more panic. Here's the kicker. You're probably really good at crisis management. People come to you when things are falling apart because you're calm under pressure. But that's not a superpower. That's a trauma response. You're calming chaos because, well, chaos feels like home. Third sign, unpredictable relationships feel more exciting than stable ones. You see, if someone is consistent, reliable, and emotionally available, your brain goes, this is boring. Where's the drama? That's not a preference. That's programming. You're attracted to emotionally unavailable people because the push-pull dynamic feels so familiar. They're hot, and then cold. They're inconsistent. You never know where you stand, and your brain is like, yes, this is love, because that's what love looked like growing up. Meanwhile, stable people feel flat. They text back consistently. They show up when they say they will. They communicate clearly, and you're like, ugh, this person has no personality. No, they have boundaries and emotional regulation. You just find that boring because your brain associates love with chaos. And the cost? Well, you either leave stable people because they're not exciting enough, or you stay with chaotic people and wonder why your relationships always feel so exhausting. Okay, so those are your 3 signs. If you're watching this and thinking, oh no, that's me, don't panic. Well, actually, you're probably already panicking because that's what we do, right? But here's the question. Why does your brain do this? And more importantly, and this part's gonna make you mad, why does it feel good? When you grow up in chaos, your developing brain makes a deal with itself. Okay, if I can predict the unpredictability, I can survive. So you became hypervigilant, always scanning for threats, always waiting for the next explosion. And here's what happened neurologically. Your amygdala, that fear center, overdeveloped. It got really, really good at detecting danger. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, your rational thinking and planning, emotional regulation center, it stayed underdeveloped because you didn't have the safety to develop it. So you became incredible at crisis management, but terrible at peace management. You can handle a 5-alarm fire at work, but you still can't sit through a calm dinner without checking your phone 17 times because calm feels dangerous. It's like your brain trained for the Olympics of dysfunction. And now that life is calm, it's like, I trained for this! Where's the chaos? I'm ready! And you're like, brain, we're trying to have this nice life here. And your brain goes, nice is suspicious. I don't trust nice. Now, here's where it gets really dark. Chaos creates adrenaline and cortisol spikes that your brain learned to associate with normal. So, when things are stable, you're not just bored. Your brain is literally going through a withdrawal of sorts. You feel anxious, restless, uncomfortable. Your body is like, where are the stress hormones? I need my fix. And here's the really twisted part. Your brain interprets stability as danger because historically, you only got calm before the next explosion, remember? Calm meant someone was about to blow up. So your nervous system learned calm equals an incoming threat. Which means when your life is actually safe and stable, your brain is screaming, this is wrong! Something bad is about to happen! And to resolve that anxiety, what do? You create chaos, because at least then you know what's happening. So you create chaos to feel normal. It's not a choice. It's a survival mechanism that's now destroying your life. It's like if you grew up in a house where the fire alarm went off every day and your brain learned that the sound of that fire alarm means home. So now, as an adult, when there's no fire alarm, you start a small fire just to hear that familiar sound. And everyone's like, why do you keep starting fires? And you're like, I don't know, it just feels right. And this creates a self-fulfilling prophecy that's almost impossible to see from the inside. You unconsciously recreate your childhood environment in your adult relationships and workplaces. You pick chaotic partners. You take jobs with toxic cultures. You put yourself in unstable situations because they feel familiar. And then, and this is the really messed up part, you use this as evidence that life is always chaos without realizing that you're the one orchestrating it. You're like, see, I knew things would fall apart. They always do. But you picked the emotionally unavailable partner. You took the job with the unhinged boss. You created the conditions for chaos and then acted surprised when chaos showed up. So here's the perfect trap. You're good at chaos. You're competent in crisis. So every time you create one and solve it, you get validation. People are like, wow, you're so good under pressure. And your brain goes, see, this is my purpose. I'm a chaos handler. So you keep creating chaos to prove your worth. It's like a firefighter who secretly starts fires so they can be a hero who puts them out. Except you don't realize you're the one starting the fires. Okay, so that's why your brain does this. Now let's talk about what it's actually costing you. Because I'm going to be honest, it's way more than you think. Let's start with the professional cost, because this is where chaos addiction really destroys your potential. First, you're exhausted, like bone deep. Can't remember the last time you felt rested, exhausted. But you can't stop, because stopping feels like dying. You've convinced yourself that if you slow down, everything will fall apart. So you keep running on adrenaline and caffeine and sheer force of will. Second, you burn out everyone around you. Your team can't maintain this crisis pace. They're trying to have a normal work-life balance, and you're sending emails at 11 p.m. Just had a thought about the Q4 strategy, and they're like, Adam, it's 11 p.m. Go to bed. But you can't, because your brain only works in crisis mode. Third, you miss opportunities that require a sustained, boring consistency. You can handle a company emergency at 2 a.m., no problem, you're up anyway. But you can't sit through a strategic planning meeting without your phone, because strategy is boring. Boring feels dangerous. So you end up being incredible at putting out fires, but terrible at preventing them. You're always in reactive mode, never proactive. And the opportunities that require long-term, consistent, non-chaotic effort, well, you miss them because you don't give that adrenaline hit. You know what I mean? And if you're in leadership, this chaos addiction is costing your organization real money. Burnout, turnover, lost productivity, it adds up fast. And I actually have a free systemic pain calculator that shows you the actual dollar impact of this stuff. The link's in the description, because sometimes you need to see the numbers to realize how much this is costing you. Now, let's talk about the relational cost, because this is where it gets really painful. Stable partners feel boring, so you either leave them or sabotage the relationship. You'll pick fights over nothing because at least a fight is stimulating. Or you'll create drama. I think we need to talk about our relationship. When the relationship is fine, you just can't handle fine, because fine feels like the calm before the storm. And if you have kids, they're learning that chaos is normal. They're watching you create chaos. They're watching you create crisis after crisis, and their little brains are wiring the same way yours did. You're passing down the chaos addiction like a family heirloom. Here, kid, this is my trauma, and now it's yours too. Enjoy. But here's the worst part. You're never present. Even when you're physically there, you're not really there. You're always on, scanning for the next threat, always waiting for something to go wrong. Someone will be like, hey, want to have a nice quiet dinner? And you're like, that sounds terrible. Can we just have a nice loud argument instead? That I can do, because presence requires calm, and calm is the enemy. So your relationships feel shallow even when they're not, because you can't actually be in them. You're too busy managing the chaos you created or waiting for the next chaos to manage. And finally, the personal cost. This is the one nobody talks about. You never feel safe, even when you are. Your body is in a constant state of hypervigilance. You're always waiting for the other shoe to drop. You can't enjoy success because you're convinced it's temporary. Something bad is just always around the corner, and your body's paying the price. Chronic stress leads to inflammation, autoimmune issues, digestive problems, sleep issues, anxiety, depression. Your body is constantly in fight or flight mode, which means it's constantly breaking down. You can't relax. You genuinely can't relax. People tell you just chill and you want to scream because you don't know how. Relaxation feels like vulnerability, and vulnerability feels like danger. And here's the tragedy. You survived chaos as a kid. You had to. You didn't have a choice. But now you're volunteering for it as an adult. You're choosing chaos when you could choose peace. And that's not a strength. That's Stockholm Syndrome with your own trauma. You fell in love with your captor, except your captor is your own nervous system, and it's holding you hostage with the promise that chaos equals safety. So what's it costing you? I know that was heavy, but here's what nobody tells you about breaking this pattern. And it's not what you think. Here's what nobody tells you. Breaking chaos addiction feels like death. Not metaphorically, like literally. Your nervous system will convince you that you're dying. When you remove chaos, you will go into withdrawal. You'll feel restless, anxious, like something's wrong, like you're wasting time, like you're being lazy. Your brain is screaming, "We need to do something! Create a crisis! Anything!" Here's the trap. You'll interpret these feelings as evidence that stability is wrong for you. You'll think, "See, I tried the calm thing and it felt terrible. I'm just not wired for peace." But that's not true. The discomfort isn't proof that stability is wrong. It's proof that your nervous system is recalibrating. So you're going through withdrawal from stress hormones. And like any withdrawal, it feels awful before it feels better. It's like your brain is a toddler who's used to McDonald's every single day. When you give it vegetables, it throws a tantrum. "This isn't food! Where's the chaos? I want the chaos!" And you're like, "Brain, the chaos is killing us." And your brain goes, "Yeah, but it's a fun death. Can we have some more?" The reality is, this discomfort is not a sign you're doing it wrong. It's proof you're doing it right. Your nervous system is learning that it can be safe without being in crisis mode. And that learning process feels dangerous because it's unfamiliar. Second thing nobody tells you, you'll have an identity crisis. You see, your whole identity became wrapped up in being the person who handles chaos. You're competent in crisis. You're impressive under pressure. You're the go-to person when things fall apart. That's who you are. So, when you stop creating crisis, you kind of lose that ability and you'll panic. If I'm not the chaos handler, who am I? Am I just boring? Average? Unremarkable? And here's what you're really afraid of. If I'm not in crisis mode, will I still be valuable? Will people still need me? Will I still matter? And the answer is yes, but differently. You'll matter because you're present, not because you're putting out fires. You'll be valuable because you're consistent, not because you're heroic in emergencies. And you'll be remarkable because you're regulated, not because you're reactive. But that's a different kind of mattering. And your brain will resist it because it's not the kind of mattering that you learned of as a kid. Third thing, stability will feel boring at first. And that's okay. A calm day will feel empty because you're used to adrenaline spikes. Regular life will feel flat because your dopamine receptors are fried from constant crisis. But here's the truth. You're not becoming less. You're becoming regulated. And regulated people accomplish way more than chaotic people. They just do it without the drama. Think of it like this. You've been eating hot sauce on everything for 30 years. When you stop, regular food tastes bland. But But that's not because regular food is bland. It's because your taste buds are destroyed. Give it time, and you'll taste nuance again. You'll find excitement in things that don't destroy you. Now, the boredom is temporary. Your brain needs a time to find dopamine in non-chaotic sources, and it will if you let it. Okay, so that's what breaking free actually looks like. So here's the framework that actually works, and we're going deep on this in part 2. In part 2, I'm breaking down the 3-phase framework for breaking chaos addiction: regulation, replacement, and rewiring. Phase 1 is regulation, teaching your nervous system that safety is real. And this isn't meditation or deep breathing. This is actual nervous system work that addresses why your body doesn't believe that calm is safe. Phase 2 is replacement, finding non-chaotic dopamine sources, because you can't just remove chaos and expect your brain to be cool with it. You need to give it something else to get excited about. And phase 3 is rewiring, building a new baseline over 3 to 6 months. Because this isn't a quick fix, your nervous system took years to wire for chaos. It's going to take time to rewire for stability. And I'm also covering what nobody else talks about: what to do when you relapse, because you will. You'll have a stable week and then you'll blow something up. And that's not failure, it's data. I'll show you how to identify triggers, how to do a compassionate reset, and how to know that the work is actually working. Because the progress markers aren't what you think. You won't wake up one day fixed. You'll just notice you went 3 weeks without manufacturing a crisis, and you'll think, that's new. But here's what I need you to understand right now. You can't unknow this anymore. Every time you create chaos moving forward, you'll know you're choosing it. That awareness alone changes everything. The question isn't, can I break this addiction? The question is, am I willing to feel uncomfortable long enough for stability to feel normal? That's the only question that matters. And part 2 gives you the exact roadmap to do it. And that's the message. You don't have to keep doing the same soul-crushing, toxic dance. That's a choice, and it's a bad one. You deserve to thrive. I'm gonna see you next week, and I swear, if you're still surviving, I'll know. I will know it, and I'll take care of it. So start moving.